Well, I know we're not in the business of moral victories, and you look at last game, that offense, the pace, the progression at times. Can you take any positives and apply it to this week?
Um, we're not shooting ourselves in the foot. We operate pretty well.
Shooting yourselves in the foot, what does that look like so far this season?
Penalties. We always make a big splash and then we do something stupid.
When you went back and watched the offensive game tape, what stood out to you in a positive way on what you guys did well?
Our tempo. I feel like we operated faster. Got in and out the huddle pretty good.
When you are operating faster and bring tempo, can that lead to more penalties? Is it almost like you have to operate at a more simple level to execute better at times?
The lack of focus is what leads to the penalties. Like some penalties happen. Like you're gonna have holding penalties, things like that. Stuff like that's gonna happen. But like all other stuff, that we can control, it's just a lack of focus.
How do you fix that?
I don't know.
You've been around Jalen a lot. When he comes off a game where he probably doesn't play his best game, what's he like during that week in practice and meetings? Do you notice a difference in him?
Nah, it's same Jalen. You don't just sit up there and just beat yourself up over things like that. In this game, stuff like that happens. Everybody's gonna have a game where they're down. You tell me somebody that that don't have games like that.
Your targets and production have been down the last 3 or 4 weeks. Have teams been doing something to take you away, especially after the big game that you had a few weeks ago? Or is it just a symptom of the offense not working properly?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
DeVonta, you haven't lost a lot of games in your career in college, and here you guys have had a lot of success. How do you navigate a low in the season like you're having right now as a team?
To me, besides, offense not doing what we're supposed to do, I don't see this as, a low. How many games we lost? I'm asking.
Altogether or in a row?
Like, altogether.
5.
I feel like we're all right. We're in a good spot. We just have to go out there and continue to play our brand of football.
What makes you have that mindset?
This is the NFL. This is the highest of the high. Everybody else get paid just like we get paid. Everybody else, do film study like we do film study. Nothing's going to be easy.
Nick Sirianni and really a lot of his teammates pointing to Jalen Hurts' resiliency this week. Can you think of examples of how you have seen Jalen Hurts, you know him better than most, be resilient here with the Eagles?
It's just a new week. Whatever happened last week, good game, bad game, that no longer matters. What only matters is, this upcoming week.
I know it's been a long time since the past game, but that overtime, 3rd and 16, rhythm throw in overtime. You've been with Jalen a lot. How familiar with them and those kind of throws? How do y'all work on those and going forward?
It's just a rhythm and timing thing. When you get those reps and you get those reps a lot, it's like clockwork.
Do you view this weekend as this one-on-one matchup of sorts as a big chance for you?
Every chance is a big chance, and I just feel like it's the next week and it's the next opponent. He's a great player, in his own right, but I got to control what I control and make sure I'm doing what I got to do, check my boxes, and go about it like that.
I apologize if you asked this already, but how is the ankle feeling, and do you anticipate being available?
The ankle's feeling great. We had got nicked up, and that led to uncovering some things that was hindering me the last couple of weeks, and got to figure it out. I felt great today at practice. Felt back to my old self. So.
You think you'll play on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm definitely playing.
Was it you said it got nicked up? Was that in the game, or did you get hurt during practice?
I got nicked up in practice, and right when practice started, and then I'm sorry. And then when we had to go figure out what was going on with it, because it was bothering me for a couple of weeks, we did, and we got to the bottom of it. It was something that we didn't even think about, and got it treated today, yesterday, and continue the treatment throughout Sunday. So.
How do you think the last couple games have gone for you?
I feel like I've executed my job. A lot of things I want to do better, but I feel like I did what I came out here to do and execute. Be ready for this team, be ready for my teammates, be accountable, and everything else like that.
How much do you kind of talk with Lane Johnson about what you guys
what he sees?
Yeah.
I talk to him all the time. I talked to him yesterday about what he sees with Crosby and everything. He said he was going to watch a couple games and tell me if he see anything differently, how I should attack him, how things of that nature.
Did he come back with it? Go ahead, sir.
No, I was going to say.
That's classified.
So what he came back
He
with?
just gave me insightful advice. You know, he's a real leader, real guy that I look up to, and you know, he's the shoes that I got to fill. So, you know, it's good to get advice from him whenever I can.
Well, Tanner, you are in the meeting room every day with Jalen on the practice field. A lot of commotion this week about what he has admitted is the worst game of his career in Philadelphia. How have you seen him respond this week?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen has a very high expectation for himself. Just, you know, working after practice, getting whether that's extra meeting time with the coaches, with the players, just having a really high expectation of perfection. And so, obviously, you know, as a unit, we haven't been performing to our expectation, and so he's going to do everything in his power to get us to that level. And, you know, you have to lead from the front. That's exactly what he's doing. And so it's great to see that and kind of see everybody follow that.
Obviously, the quarterback is going to take the blame for many games. How have you seen him maybe fall on the sword when you look at those turnovers at times? You know, it's a bad route or it's a tip pass or you know, it's a football play, but you see him fall on the sword regardless.
Yeah, I mean, as a quarterback, you kind of feel like you have to take accountability for everything, and that's part of the position. When you win, everybody gives you a little bit too much credit, and when you lose, everybody gives you a little too much blame. But that's part of the position. So just taking that accountability, I think guys follow that, and you know, guys know when it was their fault or when they, you know, didn't run the right route or something happens. But as a quarterback, when you walk up and you say, "Hey, that's my bad. We'll get it next time," or you know, I'll give you a better pass, even though he probably couldn't make the play. I feel like that's how guys get trust in, you know, the leader being a quarterback, and so taking that accountability, you know, putting it on himself, just allowing the team to really, you know, follow him and follow that lead. I think it's huge.